on some maracas, man.
Maracas? It's the first thing that jumps to your mind.
I wanted something to shake while I was dancing. That's really what it came down to.
I get you, baby.
What?
Sorry.
No, that was so wrong. Guys, here we are. Metropolis is the name of the map. In case you can't tell, I'm like dancing every time Monster Cat comes on. Kevin just texts, though. I don't know how you can text with that music coming through your ears. I'd have to take off my headset if I wanted to text.
My wife had a question about dinner. I have to respond. No. Sorry. Go ahead, please.
Here we are. Top portion of the map. Actually, it's more the right-hand side, but it's the top right. 3 o'clock position from LGIM. Ladies and gentlemen, he has murdered more than half of EG's team thus far. It is Seed. Facing off against in the bottom 6 o'clock position from the team Evil Geniuses, suffering currently quite a deficit of victories. They're down 1-4. Give a cheer for him if you want him to make a comeback. It is Thorzane.
So Thorzane now, obviously a guy who's got a very fun brand of PvT, or TVP I guess I should say. He's a guy who can throw in a lot of ultra aggression in addition to kind of playing a slow passive style. I mean, there's been notable games in Team Arena challenges in the past where he's gone up against a Naniwa, he 2-raxed him. He's had games where he's decided to do that on Atlanta Spaceship quite a bit. He's actually sending out 2 SCVs to block this ramp here for a little while. Interesting. Okay, one of them is just going to become an SCV scout, but a little bit of entertaining control there as he gets everything in check. And Thorzane can, of course, play that long passive game. Now, of course, you know, we say a lot in the past that, you know, you put down the supply depot when you don't want your opponent getting in or you want to trick them that something is coming. 99% of the time when you see that, you can still expect that it's going to be some sort of just a gasless fast expand. But Thorzane, this is that one genuine time that he wants to hide what's going on. His opponent, though, decided to wait on his cybernetics core and actually go for a Nexus very quickly.
Yeah, which is actually going to be really nice if he does face any sort of big timing out of Thorzane. These positions certainly lending to that kind of play. But I will say we've seen many a 1-1-1 dismantled in close by air positions by the Protoss player. Really, it can all just boil down to a pylon, actually, right here on the high ground area. You can just warp in right behind them, a line of Zealots. You can warp it in next to the tanks. You can just absolutely rip things apart. So Thorzane, if he does opt to go for any big plays, Seed has got a pretty nice position against anything on the ground, so maybe we'll see something in the air. Factory currently on the way. Only one refinery, though, still for Thorzane.
Right, and he's producing Marauders now, and Marauder Hellion timings do still work pretty well against Protoss players, so we'll see what he's going to be up to. And there we go. Hellion starting to be produced, Marauder starting to be produced, and we're going to see a big push here in a second. We'll see if he finds a way to expand out of this. Now, Seed did get around behind his opponent, saw that there was no expansion out there, and Thorzane set up perfectly for any future probes that would make their way in. But as of yet, Seed, I don't know. He's got a pretty good read that something is going to be up.
He's got one gateway going down, which we did see in one of his other sets as well. You know, you mentioned playing it when he feels a little bit uncomfortable. No expansion on the low ground. So, but if we see another gateway here, it is going to be a second gateway. 3 gateways help so incredibly well against this play out of Thorzane that we're seeing right now. I actually am falling back to a game that I saw out of MC where he just demolished a Marauder Hellion timing, but we're going to see if Seed's able to hold this off. He does have a Nexus that is completed on the low ground, so he's not going to be able to do any sort of cancel. It's going to sustain a little bit of damage, but will it be too much?
Well, Thorzane's looking to put down a bunker here, I would imagine. We'll see if he can outright end the game with this, though. There are a couple of Stalkers out on the low ground, but that's really it for defense now. And Seed's trying to get away with those probes, and he will successfully do so, but he almost loses his first Stalker right away. Structure is canceled. It was actually a robotics facility, I believe, so we can allocate all the resources towards just moving in and trying to do damage. And it looks like he's going to be content with picking off this bunker, although I have to wonder for myself, why didn't he just go in and start attacking the mineral line?
We're going to find out. You know, he seems content to kill the Nexus for now, but the reality is that Marauder Hellion is not a very good strategy to have for the long game. It does not involve enough tech. We see right now, Seed, looks like he's just going to let this Nexus fall, and that's actually going to pose a significant threat to Thorzane in a counterattack. The Nexus is going to go down. Now, that's 400 minerals down the drain. But look at this, Seed dropping 2 more gateways behind this. He's going to be up to 5 gateways. He's going to be able to put out a ton of units in a counterattack here against Thorzane. But Thorzane, well, this is actually something that I've seen players really take advantage of. Thorzane's looking to go for a contain right now.
And look at this, there's actually a pylon around the side, and Thorzane, he doesn't see it. He just barely doesn't see it, but he has no idea that this is happening, and Seed is just going to be able to warp around him with a 5-gate. Oh man, that probe actually coming back and paying dividends now for Seed, as this whatever you want to call it, does not matter one bit.
Yeah, Thorzane abandoning his post up at home, up at Seed's house. Now he's going to be falling back to his natural expansion, but can he get there quick enough? Kevin, the natural expansion, it's probably going to be ignored here. Yeah, Seed going to head straight up the ramp instead. Tries to target down the siege tank. Now he's going to be able to engage just against the army on the low ground, while this army up top is coming for a pincer maneuver.
Yeah, but I mean, there's not a lot of units here in Thorzane. I go back to what I said before. I think he would have just been so much better served by just going in and trying to end the game rather than playing a strong contained game. He never had eyes on that probe. He probably assumed that it had gone back home, but that may come back to bite him here. Thorzane, though, still has a very strong army at his disposal, but it's a nice job by Seed thus far to make sure that he drops down these units here. And ooh, that siege tank going to start forcing those units back, so the force fields aren't going to be an issue that much longer.
Well, we do see up at the main, Seed's units have finally cleaned up those bunkers. He's now on his way down. Will we see Thorzane go for an engagement before these units arrive? It does not appear that's going to be the case. And with that, 71 supply to 59, folks. Natural expansion being constructed right now by Thorzane in his base.
Oh, and he actually recognizes this in time to put down the engineering bay and stop an expansion. Very well done there.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really nice. That engineering base is going to take some time to kill. Of course, buildings are not very ticklish. It's going to be a siege tank on the high ground that's going to make Thorzane feel very, very safe to take this a natural expansion in just a moment.
Yeah, I would think that Seed would actually come around and start taking out the destructible debris, too, to give him a follow-up attack path here in just a bit. Doesn't look like he's too worried about that right now. Siege tanks can't actually see out far enough to be able to knock down that probe. And Thorzane's going to stabilize her now while his expansion finishes up. It's actually already turning into an orbital command, so he does actually have pretty good advantage in terms of the time that this actually comes up. Although Seed's done a nice job, sorry to interrupt, Seed's done a nice job of overproducing probes to make sure he can saturate the space whenever it does get done.
Yeah. Really, really nice job, actually. If we can control click those and see what he's looking at, it's of course going to be at least one page, and it looks like he's got, okay. So, 32, I think that is, yeah, 32 workers sitting there at that expansion. He's going to be able to take about 10 down already, so a really nice worker supply here for Seed, of course. Looks like he's going for a Dark Shrine, though, Kevin. Is there an engineering bay? Yes, Thorzane has an engineering bay on the way right now, so at least he's going to be able to construct a turret. But at this stage, you know, when the game gets mixed up, it's always you get out of your rhythm. It's easy to forget things like that. We're going to have to wait and see what happens here for Thorzane. I could easily see him forgetting a Dark Shrine at this stage. Or, excuse me,
I know,
turret,
you're saying a missile turret, yeah. So he has a little bit of detection, but yeah, so far, no. He's just going to have to rely on his orbital commands, and he's been pretty diligent in calling them down right away. He has to rally this orbital command over to his mineral patches. You talked about just messing up little things whenever the game kind of gets out of whack, and that's one of them. Hellions trying to break their way in to do some harassment. Looks like they managed to kill 2 probes. Oh, that was a lot more there, so Seed actually taking some pretty good damage. More workers killed, a total of 11 so far, and that quickly decreases the amount of workers available for Seed.
That force field was really, really bad for Seed. There actually didn't look like there was a good way, but here come the Dark Templar, and yeah, there's no turret. Thorzane did not build a turret, I don't think.
Oh no, and there's no energy on these orbital commands. This is going to be devastating. Maybe?
Seed's trying to bait out the scan, it looks like, but there isn't a scan.
No, nor does... Yeah, Thorzane doesn't even know that these are here. Okay, he could actually just move right on by. Hope he doesn't stand too close, and there he goes.
All right, well, he actually lost a lot of free time there to do damage, though. Now going to be coming into, well, he gets into the main, though. No supply depot raise. That was really bad. We see now he's raised the supply depot, but it doesn't matter. There's already a DT in the main. killing all the workers, and whatever damage we saw done by those Hellions is going to be more than reciprocated right now by Seed's Dark Templars.
Yeah, he's already killed quite a few workers here. As we can see, 6 kills on that Dark Templar, going to quickly increase 9 kills on this one. Now a total of 19 workers destroyed. Seed actually pulling ahead of the overall worker count. One more scan is available, and the missile turrets are finishing up. Looks like the DTs are going to die, but they were worth the expense.
Yeah, definitely. Seed currently sitting, if we take a look at the economy for both of these players, ahead by 7 workers, a real nice position for any Protoss player. And it looks like he's gearing up possibly to take a third right now as he's taking down those rocks above his base.
He could actually take a couple of DTs here and just chase after and start picking away these units one by one, which is kind of nice. Oh, Thorzane's actually pulling a lot of stuff at the moment, so he doesn't really have a lot of economy to fall back on, and he looks like he may just be going for a big all-in here.
Yeah, that is going to be the case, Kevin. Seed maybe realizing this now, but we see his army moving into position. Take a look at what he has. It is, well, a decent amount of zealots, a lot of sentries, though. If he can get some good force fields and cut this army in half, could actually be in a really good position, but no, he just wants to buy time right now. And how much energy does he actually have on these sentries? If it's a lot, he could just...
It's a lot.
He can force field this for so long, try to force Thorzane around.
And it looks like he's a little more worried about waiting until the Templar Archives finishes up so he can put up like 4 or 5 Archons. Look at how much damage 5 siege tanks do, though, to the Zealot line, almost completely obliterating the front line of forces.
Yeah, a lot of these Zealots already very, very low. Sentry coming forward right now. Maybe going to throw down a couple more force fields. We'll wait and see. Nope, it goes down. That's actually quite a loss if that was a full energy Sentry for Seed. Archons are making their way onto the field at this stage, but Thorzane getting so much free damage in right now.
And at the same time, Seed's actually ducking in with a few charge lots. So Thorzane feels like he needs to press the issue. He does have siege tanks slowly clawing their way up, and this Nexus may fall here in a second. It's not dead yet. 58 hit points. The tanks are in range. A couple more shots and it would die. But Seed is going to take this opportunity to move in right now. The Dark Templar actually not being targeted out, so it's going to survive and continue to do damage here in a second. Thorzane just needs to run up and tap this Nexus once, and it will die.
I don't know that... this is really, really close. Oh, the Dark Templar killing the siege tanks in the back. Forget everything that I was just going to say there, Kevin. Thorzane losing a tank. That's a lot of firepower going down now. Zealots and Dark Templars continuing to come in to harass Seed, down on supply right now. But if he can continue making these Dark Templars, it's going to be really tough for Thorzane because he can't make any more tanks. His tech lab has been taken out.
And this Dark Templar now is it's just not being detected at all. There's no energy left available, so this Dark Templar is going to kill another bunch of units. At the same time, Seed is under attack up at the front, and it looks like Thorzane is thinking about just pulling back after having killed that Nexus.
Right now, Seed bringing in almost double the minerals of his opponent and more than... we're looking to triple the gas almost for Seed. So the longer this game goes on, guys, the further and further ahead it looks like Seed is going to continue to pull.
But here's the thing, is that, you know, Thorzane did lose all of his detection there, but he still does have 2 bases up, so if he can find a way to stabilize even for a second, he's actually going to be in a halfway decent position. But the problem is Seed's making his way across the map right now with a handful of forces that all deal out splash damage and all deal out a lot of damage to biological units.
Yeah, and Seed able to reinforce at least for the second a little bit better than Thorzane, but you are right, Thorzane going to definitely stabilize in the long run better than Seed, who's currently just sitting on that main base. So it looks like he's going to try to get the attack in right now. He's going to be able to reinforce with that pylon that is arguably definitely far away from this engagement, but the engagement is going down. Zealots coming into the middle line. Thorzane realizes, I can't hold this off, and GG's out of the game, Kevin.
That's right, so IM advances to the finals of the IPTL. They're going to go up against StarTale in the finals. IM versus StarTale.
Wow.
What a ridiculous matchup, and I hope you guys will join us for that. That is going to be incredible. We're not done with broadcasting for this week, though. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be back with more GOM World Championship qualifier action, and we're actually just ticking down the minutes until IPL 5, which is only in a couple of weeks from now, about 2.5 or 3 weeks now. Yeah, 3 weeks and a day, I think, until it starts. So, guys, that is going to be it for us tonight. Don't forget to pick up your free tickets to IPL 5 at IGN.com/IPL5 promo. It's the number 5. Again, IGN.com/IPL5 promo. Our friends at Shootmania, Ubisoft, and Nadio's brand new first-person shooter game have actually given a bunch of tickets to our fans so that they can attend free of charge. So do check that out.
Thank you, Ubisoft. And, of course, guys, don't forget the Gunners. Take yourself to IGN.com/IPL giveaways. There's also a button up at the top you can click. Score your pair yourself of these baddies. And I guess that does it for us for today.
Yeah, we're going to head out for the night. We'll be back with that Go World Championship qualifier action tomorrow. Have a wonderful night, guys, and we'll see you later.